Good morning and welcome to Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. I remember Mr. Churchill when he said, or rather when he recalled the story of the old man who was dying and on his deathbed, he made a very, very powerful statement. Most of the people would not consider it powerful, but it is because it sums up the reality of life. And the old man said, on his deathbed, he was dying, that he had lot of troubles in his life. Lot of trouble. And more important, most of those troubles never happened. Have you ever played a simple game, which I do play? It's a simple one. But it's important. I ask myself if the things that are making me feel bad will really matter to me when I'm deathbed. 92% of the times, it's not so. The things that make us feel bad, disappointed, angry, annoyed, frustrated, worry, and all the adjectives that you can think of really do not matter. Can you believe that if you're dying, would you consider, I wish I hadn't failed in the interview? I wish people had complimented me at a party when I was 22. No, you don't think of that. But then there are two things which you would think. Did I love enough? Was I a human being enough? Did I do the things I wanted to do? And that is important. Now, in our life, we spend a lot of time worrying about things that don't matter to us. And most important is, they are not important to anybody else, but the people talk about it. And you are worried when people talk about it. You might be thinking, it matters to me now. And maybe it does to some extent, but you should not worry what the people are talking about you. Because first, worrying about that is counterproductive. And second, worrying about what people think of you doesn't serve you. It serves nobody. But then the people who talk about it, it serves them. So if you start thinking about the people who are talking about you, what they are saying, why they are saying, did I hurt them, and all that, blah, 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 has no relevance. Worrying about what the people talk about you is an impractical use of your energy. It's a wastage of your energy. There never has been a time of worrying that so and so should like you, so and so should recommend you, should talk highly of you. As a matter of fact, if people even talk about you and it's correct, it doesn't worry you. It leads only to anxiety and overwhelms you. When things are outside your perceived control, like you're meeting people for the first time, worry kicks in. Why should it? You're meeting a guy for the first time. What difference does it make if he doesn't like you or if he likes you even? You see, our issue is that instinctively, inherently, we are wired to negativity. And that is an evolutionary tool. We have evolved from chimps and other animals. And self-preservation, protection of a self has been the main motive of us. But today, that physical protection is not the time need. The process no longer serves you. Earlier, you were negative, you were suspicious, you were concerned what others were saying, because that could affect your very being, very living. Not today. You are not meeting the bears whose smell you should know, because if you go to jungle, they'll kill you. So you have to hide your smell, but you have to know their smell. That is typical what the people are thinking. The act of safeguarding yourself comes in and you start worrying now. You have crossed that stage of evolution unless you are mentally still a chimpanzee. You are mentally still an ape. Then of course you should worry, because then you have got to preserve yourself. But if you're not that, do not worry. As a matter of fact, worrying is like a signpost. And the signpost is an indicator that you do not feel whole without the approval of others. The approval of others is a pillar on which you stand. And those pillars are not reliable. You are looking outside of yourself, forgetting that you can only fill the void. No amount of approval from an outside source can make you whole. You'll get it once, but you'll need it again and again. It's an addictive cycle that turns you away from yourself. You care for what your conscience tells you. You care for your gut feelings tells you, and you can complete yourself. You are a whole person. But you consider others, and then there are a variety of people. Some will say one thing, other will say one thing, and you will be confused. You don't know who is right and who is wrong. So why bother at all about them? Bother about yourself. That's more important. As a matter of fact, when you start thinking of what the people are doing, you are not empowering yourself, you are disempowering yourself. This is most important. You are weakening yourself. And when you weaken yourself, you are basically lowering your dignity, demeaning your personality, making yourself not a better person, but an inferior person. Just now, Mr. Vrinder Sharma has sent a beautiful note. ये मेरा बेस्ट है और मैं अपना बेस्ट में ही रहता हूँ. This is what it is. Mr. Sharma has understood what I am saying. And that is what is required. Now, you see, whether you're content with who you are, stop being concerned with whether or not people like you. If they hate you, so what? If they are indifferent to you, so what? You deserve your life instead of chasing an ideal your mind has created. Chase that ideal. Chase that. You deserve to discover who you really are. And you deserve to have people around you who love you and admire you for what you are, who you are, rather than what you... Excuse me. As I was saying, we have people who like you, who love you for what you are, not what they want you to be. Because each one would like you to be different. So how to get over that problem? Not very difficult. Ignore. Learn the art of ignoring others. Until and unless you are rude, ignoring is the best thing. While ignoring others, you need not be rude. You can be very civilized and just ignore them. Now, what happens is, when you start listening to them, when you ignore them, you stop listening to them. And when you stop listening to them, you're not disempowering yourself, you're empowering yourself. And you know who you are. That's the most important thing. Ordinarily, people suffer because they don't know who they really are. They are not authentic. They are dependent on the opinion of others. And that dependence makes them basically people having feet of clay. They build themselves up like colossus, but their feet are the feet of clay. So basically, ask yourself who you are and place your attention there. And then, imagine when someone thinks about you, bring the focus back to yourself. If you're thinking, I hope she doesn't think I'm useless. Instead of saying that he or she doesn't think that you are useless, think, do you think that you are useless? You can be a better judge of yourself and guide yourself, propel yourself on the path to empowering yourself rather than disempowering if you listen to the others. When you spend time wondering how people perceive you, then you tend to create stories that are not true. And those stories make you feel defeated. You lose confidence in yourself. Either you should have utmost confidence in yourself that whatever story you create, you believe in that and you have capability to uphold that. That's okay. Otherwise, you are going to be a disaster for yourself. As I started in the beginning, saying that when you're on the deathbed, when the thought comes to you, they're the most important. Thoughts never come to you what X talked about you, what Y talked about you. They're always going to be what your people who love you, who support you, thought about you. Were you able to reciprocate the same or not? When you're on the deathbed, people who are going to matter to be the one who choose you. People who really see you. People who love you even when you falter. People who support you in your time of need without saying that they are supporting you. Those are the people, not the common people, not the other people. The people who matter are the people, A, you, and 4, 5, 1, or 2, maybe only 1, maybe 2, maybe 4. But it's definitely not more than a dozen, a baker's dozen. What's important is, have you lived a life to be proud of yourself? Do you know yourself? And are you aware of the people who really love you, who really cherish you, who really need you? Then you've got to learn to be your own advocate. As I always say, if you don't blow your own trumpet, who would blow it? You have to stop giving power away to the other people. As I said, by that process, you disempower yourself. And the need is to empower yourself. Then, when you empower yourself, then you stand in your own power. You create an aura around you. And that aura is like a magic circle around you, protects you. and enables you to show people who you are without shame, without apology. Do not wait for somebody's permission to be amazing. If they don't see that you're amazing, it doesn't matter, ignore them. The truth is that the people criticize you, or the people condemn you, or the people don't think you're amazing is because they don't see it in you. They are blind to your capabilities. And they are blind to you because they're blind and cannot see their capability in themselves. So how can a person who cannot realize his own capability realize your capability? As a matter of fact, when you look at the opinion of others, you are in fact thinking them to be your mirror image. You look into a mirror to see how you are looking. You look at the people and listen to them, how you think of yourself. And the mirror might tell you the truth because it has no emotion of its own. But these people in whom you are trying to find yourself are people who have jealousy, not compassion, envy, and maybe indifference. They just say for the sake of saying. So stop worrying about what others say about you, what they talk about you. It is not important. What is important is you. You're immediately supporting people, but most important, you, the authentic you. Be that. Ignore all the crap, and you'll be a better person. Better thyself by ignoring, by living your life your way. Thank you.